Glad you're here with us, Larry Smith, Brad Sturdy, Mike Kegley. We are the Illini guys. Coming off our keyboards from IlliniGuys.com, where, by the way, free 7-day trial. Come check us out. Get ready before football season. To talk a little with you guys, talk a little sports here, Illini sports, everything else. We've got lots going on. Mike caught up with CJ Moore, the Athletic. Talked with him a few days ago about a little college basketball here. Also, really excited. Bottom of the hour here coming up. We had the CEO of the Rose Bowl, also the Rose Bowl Parade, Tournament of Roses officially. But he's showing us, what's this been like? All this change, and the Pac-12 has been just, a staple, right, of the Rose Bowl since time began, and now they're down to the Pac-2. We'll talk about just the changes and how they affect everyone out there in Pasadena. That's coming up. Also, great conversation with Eddie Johnson on the Eye on the Illini podcast, the Illini legend, with some interesting things that, I don't know about you, Mike. Did you know about some of the personnel that might have been? I don't want to give it away, but boy,
I almost got weepy.
Yeah.
It's worth hanging around for. It really is. And so yeah, definitely check that out. So also Mike Farrell, he's the godfather of college football recruiting, joining us as well in hour number 2. And we'll talk a little Illini football recruiting here. But fellas, saw something really interesting on X. Still want to call it Twitter. That was just goes to where this Illini basketball program is right now. I mean, I know that right now we're excited coming off the Elite Eight appearance, first one since 2005. And, nice recruiting offseason here. Things are looking good right now for the program. But it was showing an illustration of the most wins against Power 6 conference teams in the past 5 years. Illinois ranked 3rd, 1 behind Arizona and Duke. Were both tied, just one more than Illinois. That's really impressive.
Yeah, when you're talking 75 power conference. Now, I will say this. Illinois usually plays a good non-conference schedule, plus the 20 Big Ten games. They get a lot of opportunities where some of those teams may not play anybody except their conference, right? We've seen some of these schools that play directional school, 11 times before they get in their conference play. But it just goes to show you where the consistency of this program under Brad Underwood. He has built this program into one of the top programs in the country, and a program that is consistently going to be there to battle at the end of the season. And it doesn't always work out where you make the Elite Eight, but they're always going to be in the mix. And I think that's what you want. And eventually you're going to break through.
I feel like he has actually brought the good old days back. And I tell people, you have to appreciate when your team is really good while it's really good, or you're constantly pointing backwards. And his streak is now starting to look like what Henson put together in the 80s, and then a combination of Self and Weber put together. Enjoy it, because nothing lasts forever, and revel in some of the victories, because Underwood is accumulating rosters that are competitive and look to beat the tar out of people when they can.
Yeah, I mean, it's really impressive. And you look at it in terms of, first off, they get, the Big Ten plays 20 games within conference. That helps. That's 2 less critters, if you will, or, the money games, if you want to, whatever you want to call it, on your schedule. So that always helps. And this year, I mean, the non-conference is unbelievable. I mean, yeah, the ACC Big Ten Challenge is no more. And yeah, the Gavitt games goes away. Okay, all that. Who cares? I mean, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, Duke, at Madison Square Garden. Am I forgetting anybody in terms of Power 6 non-conference foes?
Oh, it's
this season.
Tennessee. You got Tennessee.
Tennessee. That's the other one. Tennessee. Yeah.
It's certainly no Indiana.
Right there.
It's no Indiana.
It's no Indiana.
Holy cow! They look like an SEC football team doing their non-conference games about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like Indiana almost said, wait, is there a direction in the part of their name? No, we don't want them then. Okay. Yeah.
You must have exactly. Western, Eastern, or North or Southern in the name.
Central. Exactly. So that's right. Exactly. Wyoming? No. Southern Wyoming? Yeah. Call them. We want them on here. Absolutely. So yeah. Yeah. Hoosiers are no Illini when it comes to basketball scheduling. So so the Illini right now, again, continuing on with their summer and looking forward to the fall. We talked about last week a few guys in summer league play as it gets underway. Here Friday the 12th out in Vegas. So we've had some other teams out there, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Terrence Shannon Jr., Marcus Damask, and Quincy Guerrier and Georgie out there and doing their thing. And this has become such a great tournament out there in Las Vegas. It's pretty high profile now. It's not like it used to be.
No, it's big time. I mean, they're actually playing it like a tournament. They're playing it, trying to have competitive games, instead of just showcasing kids. But or guys, and I guess this is it's really important for these guys to really make a name for themselves. You have a good summer league, and suddenly you get contracts, and it's such a weird thing. Like you have an option, you make it, you have a good summer league, and it can lead to a two-way. It can lead to a bigger bonus, a bigger even on a practice squad and things like that. So just having a good summer league is so important, and it draws eyes because I'm not trying to be mean here. There's nothing on right now on television, right? I mean, It's like reruns of Monk is the best thing on television. I love Monk, but come on, it's like, that's the best thing on right now. So you got to watch, everybody's watching.
Rumor has it, Brad, and this is how that it's interesting, but rumor has it that a certain Larry Smith is going to be in Vegas. And if Larry is out there at roughly the same time, now you have hit that level where everybody wants to be there.
It is true. Like just they look for the guy in the suit.
The three-piece suit in 125-degree heat.
Yes.
Exactly. Sadly, I will have suits in my suitcase. So, I mean, there it is.
His suitcase is literally a suitcase.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine, I just throw stuff in. He's got a suitcase.
But Brad and I, our suitcases are like, what happened to us? What did we do wrong?
When did we get all this?
We got these disgusting owners, and this other suitcase has a guy with suits.
Why is there a pizza box in my suitcase?
That's right.
Hey, you got your pizza box in my suitcase. Hey, two great flavors.
Larry's suitcase has rotating ties. They pop up. Which one do you want?
There's probably a miniaturized dry cleaning facility in there as well.
There you
so
go.
He pulls out his suits and they're fully pressed.
Yeah.
High tech, baby. That's right.
It irons for him.
Speaking of summer league, I do need to answer. I got a lot of PMs and text and DMs this week. Yes, that was me on the ESPN video. Last Monday was the 21st anniversary of LeBron James's first summer league game in Orlando with the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I guess I never saw this video before I started getting pictures, but I did post them on social media. And there I was. Somehow I was sitting courtside. I don't know how. I was sitting right by the Cavs bench. I don't know how that happened, but I was covering the game for CNN. And so, yes, that I had people, is this you? There's only one guy who looks like me. Yeah, it was me. But anyway, it was the crazy thing about that, honestly, LeBron James is 18 years old. Jason Capono, who was a 4-year star for UCLA, was 22. They're standing next to each other during a timeout, and Capono looked like the teenager physically. And LeBron, who was, I think he came out of his mother's womb, chiseled, was the one who was cut, looked like he was 25 years old. I mean, it was insane.
Well, that Larry, and the fact that we need to know what deal you've cut with the devil, because you don't look like you've aged since then. I was like, is that Larry now? It really threw me. I thought it was like, what is Larry doing with LeBron, and what happened to LeBron?
It's a sci-fi movie, Mike. We were watching. It's about time travel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Larry's a time traveler.
I'm Jack Nicholson in the final picture on The Shining. So,
Oh, great. Good thing we're doing this remotely, folks.
Captured my soul. Exactly. So, hey, we're talking basketball. Yes, we'll be out in Vegas, and Mike may head out there too. We will find out. But I will be out there. WNBA All-Star Game. I'll be in Phoenix next week, and so I'll have a little bit here on the show about just the sights and sounds as we see Caitlin and everyone being out there. It's been a fun year for the WNBA. Shameless plug. Friday night, 7:00 Ion, 7:00 Eastern. Be there. Okay. Want to talk about women's basketball very quickly. The Illini women are getting ready for their trip overseas, Italy and Greece. I love this because they're coming off, the back-to-back 20-win seasons, the first ever WBIT championship. I mean, everything is just is coming up aces for Shauna Green and this program.
Yeah, they got their 13 players, and they're going to head over to Italy and Greece August 2nd to the 12th. I think it's really important. Although they have a ton of returnees, this is really important for this group because they do have some different pieces, and they have more size. And I think this is a great opportunity for them to kind of meld those 5 newcomers, including Barry Wallace, who was a McDonald's All-American, together in the with this group that they had before, because a lot of these guys have been together for 3 years now, or 3 years, some of them. And so this will be their 3rd year together, and they're connected. And so putting these new pieces together is so important. I think this summer trip could really springboard them into being more than just a top 25 team, maybe a team that could make a run to the Sweet 16.
The timing of that is probably indicative to why Shauna Green is successful. Magically, the timing is perfect for a team that has got all the tools and now needs time to gel. And, oh, hey, that's when we decide to do our trip. I mean, that's just the way she tends to run a program. And at some point you start saying, okay, this isn't a coincidence. This is what we call a plan. And she's what you call someone who can execute a plan.
No question. Great reporting, I should say, on IlliniGuys.com a few days ago. Our Matt Stevens, I'm sorry, messing up all over the place here. Matt Stevens did a great job talking about the contract that is coming up for Shauna Green. You guys making fun of me. For Shauna Green, I don't sleep these days. You know that. For Shauna Green to make her possibly maybe even the highest paid women's basketball coach in the Big Ten. Great story by Matt Stevens on that. But you're exactly right. Take this team with all the veterans you have and these newcomers. And this is a program that, Shauna came in, taught her style of basketball. They went from 7 wins to 21 wins in year 1. The injuries last year, they didn't gel till the end of the year. Now you have all these pieces back together. Take that time to put them together. And Brad, to your point, see what can happen here. It could be a lot of fun with this team, with the veterans you have, several all Big Ten caliber performers, and then these newcomers.
Yeah, no question, Larry Stewart. I think that is a definitely something where they could be successful. Shauna Greer could be really successful here. Oh no, sorry.
Yeah, and then especially with Calamity Jane as the assistant coach. Now there goes the $20 that we get for being nice to Calamity, because I made the joke.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's the first time she's ever heard it in her life too.
First time.
First time.
Yeah. Tell her I'll give her a tie. How's that to make up for it?
There you go.
Matt Stewart is my partner when I do Georgia football championships down in. So yeah. Anyway,
Brad. Now he's just making up names. Now he's just making up names. Brad.
Random people. Some guy, exactly. Matt Stewart.
Some guy's walking around going, "I'm what?
Who am I?"
Yeah. Listen, it never gets anywhere. Bernie Shaw, the late great Bernie Shaw, once called me during the '96 Olympics. He said, "Hey, coming up next, Olympic report from our very own Larry Sanders." And I went, okay.
There's Gary Shandling's here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, I'm an HBO show.
People are listening to this going, how old are these guys?
Exactly. We are ancient. We are ancient.
HBO doesn't even exist anymore.
Hey now.
That's right.
That's
right. We did our scripts the Fred Flintstone way. We etched them out. The hammer and chisel. All right. Hey, commercial time. We got to run. Lots to come. Remember, at bottom of the hour, it's the CEO of the Rose Bowl joining us here on the Sports Spectacular. But up next, though, CJ Moore, the Athletic, talking college hoops. It's next. It's the Sports Spectacular on the Illini Guys Radio Network.